Wichita, Kansas. Woohoo! All right. We about to go ahead and get started here. Thank you guys for joining me. Give yourselves a round of applause. Give yourselves a round of applause. I also want to know, how did you hear about this event? What are you expecting to gain at this event is what I also want to know. Drop that in the chat. I look forward to seeing all of your feedback and why you're here. What are you expecting to gain today? What are you expecting to gain? The point of this webinar, masterclass is what I call it. The power of leading. There you go. Motivation and refocus. Yes, all of us need some of that. The purpose of this, the power of leading with confidence, because some of us, we're not tapping into that full ounce of power that we have, that reservoir. We have to tap into that reservoir that we have. And a lot of us, we're not operating at full capacity. And that's due to a lot of times a lack of confidence in what we are positioned to do. And I'm just so excited that you guys are on this webinar, because like I said, my focus is on women. My husband and I, we ran an insurance agency for years, almost 10 years now. And so he's been in the business for about 14 years. And we've been running this business for almost 10. And I lost focus of my lane. And I lost focus of what I'm supposed to be doing in my life, in the business, in my friendships, relationships, leading other people, and forgetting that I have a specific calling too. It's not just about how I can build up this insurance agency, but how can I impact other women? And my focus has always been on women. Women, that's my sweet spot. So I'm so excited to have y'all here with me. If y'all can hear me, give me a thumbs up, give me something, let me know that I'm good. All right, good. All right, so we got focus and motivation. Is that all? Is that if the same for everyone? Refocus and motivation. All right. Okay. So if that's it, then that's good. I mean, that's fine. Okay. So leading. I want to tell y'all a story first. Before we even get into that, I want to tell y'all the importance of leadership. What is leadership? What is confidence? How do you tap into it? Because it's not always something you're born with. This is something that can be developed. More confident when stepping out of my comfort zone. Yes, taking risks, about getting out of that comfort zone. That's when you find that you have to step up and be confident when you step out of that comfort zone. So yes, that's one thing we'll be talking about. We'll be talking about what does confidence look like? What are the habits of being confident? What are the traits of a confident leader? And what does that look like for your team? We're going to talk about self-talk, surrounding yourself with positive people, the importance of your network. A lot of us, we don't have the right network. We got to get around the right people so that we can see the right fruit in our life. And so we're so excited about getting into that. Let me tell you a story first. There's this woman I know. There's a woman I know. I've known her for about 8-9 years. She's a wife, a mom. She is a spontaneous woman. I remember her telling a story about her and her husband and how they would just randomly get on the road in his little red Corvette and just take random road trips. And they were just on the go. Then they had the first child and they were like, you know what? Okay, it's time to slow this party down. The Corvette had to be sold. That we starting a family now. And she said that they had to sell that Corvette and the lifestyle changed. Then baby number 2 came. It's like, okay, now hold on. The lifestyle change. This place better have a drive-through when we go out to eat. There's no sitting down in the restaurant. Look, this is about convenience. Third child comes, it's about time to shut this party down. 3 children later, it's time to shut the party down. And life no longer looks the way it did And one day she was just on the go. This is the woman, she's an entrepreneur. She's on the go, life is going. And then she had a wake-up call from her oldest son who said, "Mama, why are you always yelling?" And she didn't notice. That's when she had a wake-up call, and because she didn't notice. She didn't notice the weight gain. She didn't notice the depression that she was under. She didn't notice the pressure and depression that she was experiencing. She didn't notice the short temper. She didn't notice the lack of production and a bunch of busy work that she was doing in her life. And I can tell you that story because that woman was me. That woman was me, overweight, depressed, unsure of herself, unsure of what she's supposed to be doing in life. She had just become a mom. And she started to look at herself as just a mom. I started to look at myself as just a mom, just a wife. And I lost focus of who I'm meant to be, who I've been. And I was that confident woman who could walk in the room. And it's crazy to me even now when we interview people to join our team, or we have coaching clients and they say, "I want a level of confidence that you have." And it's just crazy to me because one previous day, that wasn't me. That wasn't my story, that I was this confident woman who I could just walk into a room and you don't even have to say a word, but people know, oh, this woman, she got something going on. And so that was me too. And I know some of us, is anyone here relating to that story? Thank you for the heart. I mean, I think a lot of us can relate to that we just become this woman, this wife, this mom, and forget that, hey, thank you for joining. That we forget that it's more that we have to offer. Our daughters are counting on us to step up. The girls that's under us, the teens, the young moms, the people who are stepping into entrepreneurship, leadership, any management position, they're looking to us because right now in the world, this representation is not there. It's a representation, it's not the one that's the best model of what God calls us to be. And so if you know me, you know I'm going to drop some God up in this, I'm going to drop some Jesus up in this. So before we get fully into it, let me go ahead and start us off in a word of prayer. Dear Father God, we thank you. Thank you for the women who've joined on this webinar. Thank you for the women who will watch later, Lord. I pray that you will empty me of me and fill me with you and let me say the words only that you've given me to say. I pray for impact in the people who are around us, that they would experience the life-changing information that we learned today. And just thank you for continuously providing a way for us in all times. And we thank you and love you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right, let's get into it. All right, so what is confidence? What is confidence? The confidence, is the belief in oneself. How do we develop this belief in ourselves? And where does that come from? Why is it important for the leader to have confidence? Because the people who are around us, if we don't have that confidence in, I'm supposed to be here, this is what I'm supposed to be doing, this is the direction we're taking, then you will find how most employers and how most employees feel. They feel overwhelmed because one, they don't know what all they're supposed to be doing, so they're doing some of everything. Two, they only feel like a number. Oh, I'm just here to do a job. And we are now in the era of the what is it called? The big largest resignation, the what is it? The depression, not the depression, but the resignation, the great resignation. That's what we're in. And a lot of people are taking on the job of entrepreneurship. But a lot of places are teaching you how to sell, how to market, how to put operations in place, but not enough people are showing you how to lead. How do we lead a team? And how do we motivate and inspire other people? Because you can tell them what to do, but how do I know, hey, I know you're going through this. How do I develop that level of empathy for other people to where they can understand you are important, you, the person, are important to this organization. Yes, the organization is built and meant to make a profit. Yes, that's part of it, because no business is going to survive without the bloodline of profits. But our people are just as important, and how we motivate them and inspire them matters. So I want to talk about, what are the personality traits of a leader? What are the personality traits of a leader? And I want you to remember this: scored, because I'm gonna get into what that is in just a minute, because I've done a lot of things right, but then I also have done a lot of things wrong. We would interview, we would hire people, and I wasn't treating them as though they were sent to me by God. And I wasn't treating them as if this is an assignment. Not everyone is an assignment, but you know that people who come into your company, you are dedicating your life to being a servant. If you're an entrepreneur or a leader, you are dedicating your life to servanthood. And so, yes, I've done it wrong, but I've learned a lot too in that valley. Okay, and I'm gonna get to the valleys in just a minute, but I want you to remember the acronym SCORED, SCORED. So the first personality trait of a confident leader, you can see them in this kind of way. They're self-assured. Confident leaders, they believe in themselves and their abilities. They are not afraid to take risks and make decisions. Because of some of our personalities, and there's 4 main personality styles: dominance, influence, steady, and compliance. Now, if you haven't taken a DISC assessment, we'll talk about that later on, but I urge you to take a personality assessment to identify what style leader you are. You need to know if you're fast-paced, if you're slow-paced, if you're people-oriented, if you're results-oriented. Some people are facts over feelings, okay? Some people are, how do I know that this person, how can I drive this person without being overly aggressive? Some people can take that aggression. That's why some sports players are usually D personalities, they are drivers. But you need to know what type of leader you are. You need to know your style. And so when some personality styles, they shy away from making decisions and they allow other people to make decisions. But when you're a leader, you have to be confident in making those hard decisions. And you make those hard decisions when you are assured that this is the right direction that you need to take, the company needs to take, your team needs to take. Okay, how many people here are business owners or in management? Okay, all right, good. So y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay. C, communication skills. Confident leaders are effective communicators. They're able to articulate their ideas, and not only articulate them, but to be persuasive in what they mean. Now, you cannot communicate with different personality styles the same way. Some people, you can tell them blunt, okay, this is what it is. Some people, you have to show them the facts, back up the data. This is what it is, and this is what the data shows. These are the facts. Some people, you have to do a softer blow. Hey, lead with something positive, but then back it up with, okay, this is what's going on. So you can lead positive and then hit them with the negative and then sandwich it with the positive. It's like a sandwich. Hit them with the positive, negative, sandwich. Okay, negative. All right. Some people, it's hard to tell the truth. And you have to know who's on your team. That's why I urge companies and leaders, their team need to take a personality assessment too. You need to take a DISC with your team, because some people, it's hard to take the truth. You have to bring them into the conversation knowing that they are about to deal with some consequences. So you have to prepare them up front, but you have to learn how to confidently communicate with the different styles and who they are. If you don't know who you're talking to, you're going to hit the wrong button with some people, and then they're going to be defensive, and you're going to be like, what? I'm just telling, like, what's going on? Why are we having conflict right now? No, I need to know who you are. You need to know who I am. And then we need to communicate in a way that's respectful, but also effective. All right. Oh, confident leaders have a positive outlook on life and their ability to achieve their goals. You know, I love making acronyms out of stuff. So this will make it stick for me. They believe that anything is possible. Optimism. Optimism. If you haven't read the book by George Peele, I have this book up here. Hold on. Here we go. This book, The Power of Positive Thinking. Get that book in your possession. If you listen to Audible, make sure you listen to this book. Positive thinking affects the way you see people, the way you treat people, how you treat yourself. If you do not see the positives of things, if you don't tap into that, hey, I'm walking into this room like I'm supposed to be here. Hey, I know that whatever happens in this room is meant for my good. If I don't see it as if I see every valley as a negative experience of, oh, why me, God? Why is this happening to me? No. What do I need to learn in this valley? Why is this valley for me? Why am I here? And sometimes we don't need to understand why we're there. We just need to understand, what are we supposed to be getting in this valley? I went through the hardest time in my life recently, this past year. And if you follow me on social media, you saw it in my post. But I think I know I was prepared for that moment. I knew I was prepared by the thoughts that I was telling myself, and I knew I was prepared by my relationship with God. I knew that He was placing me there so that I can develop a sense of empathy for people who are going through those hard times that I experienced. For me to have that experience, because it's hard for you to teach someone you don't have experience. It's hard for you to teach somebody how to swim when you don't even know how to swim and you haven't felt the effects of almost drowning. You can't teach somebody how to swim from the bank. Sometimes you got to get in the water with them so that you can see where they are and be like, oh, I see what you're going through. I know what you're going through. This is how I got through it. But if you don't have that experience, sometimes we're speaking from experience, and a lot of our valleys aren't for us. They're to show it, to be a guiding light for somebody else. So we have to learn those things. The next thing we talk about in SCORED is the R, is resilience. Resilience. Confident leaders are able to bounce back from setbacks and challenges. They don't fear failures or criticism. They don't let failure or criticism discourage them. How many of us can struggle with that sometimes? Oh, we get knocked down and it's a struggle getting back up. It's like, hold on, let me stay down here for a minute. But that resilience is what builds confidence. Because when you take action, that helps you. The more action you take, the less nervousness you'll feel, because now I'm in here now. I have to perform now. I have to execute now. It's not even a performance, it's an execution. And I have to take action. And how many of us are, okay, we get knocked down. Well, I don't even know if this for me then. I don't even know if I'm supposed to be doing this then. Resilience develops confidence. The ability to get up, try again, do it again, even when it's hard. Fighting up those battles, up those mountains, and not worrying about what people are saying, what people think about what you're doing. It's about, okay, God, all right, this is my mountain. I'm getting knocked down. I'm getting knocked down. Now, is this all right? This is what you say. I'm going to get this result. I'm going to everything you're doing is for my good, right? All right. Okay. Let me go and keep climbing this mountain. You don't stop climbing the mountain in the middle of the mountain. If you've been hiking, you know what I'm talking about. If you've been hiking, you don't stop in the middle. You keep going until you reach the finish. You reach the goal, and then you start to descend. E, empathy. Confident leaders are able to understand and appreciate the perspectives of others. They are able to build relationships and motivate others to achieve their goals. It's not about you all the time. Most of the time, it's not about us. Get you out of the way. Get you out of the way is not about you. This was hard for me to understand because it's easy for us to look at, okay, what I've done, and God is going to humble you real quick. What I've done, look at what I've built. And we already know the story about someone who said, look at what I've built, look at what I've done. And how easy it is for those things to be taken away from you, to show you that this is not a you thing. This is a we thing. And God has done his part. Everyone that you encounter, you have to appreciate their position in your life. You have to understand that I need to feel where you are. And I know that maybe that's not what you're taught to be in tune with. Okay, how I feel and what do I feel in this moment, things like that. I know it's some people facts over feelings and all this stuff. I know it's some people like that. But at the same time, people want to know that you understand, and people want to know that you care. Your team wants to know that you care, not just about making some money, not about building a business, but about them. How are you rewarding your people for going above and beyond? Now, some people, they just doing the job that they're supposed to be doing. But then how are we showing up for people who show up for us? And that is so important to build relationship, because it's hard to lead people who you're not connected with, people who you don't really like. And then you have to ask, okay, what is it about them? What habit do they have that I don't like? It might not be the person themselves, but what habit do they have that I don't like? For me, I'm a fast-paced person. So it's like, okay, my personality style is fast-paced. So when someone does not execute at a certain pace, it's like, that's where my frustration comes in. It's not with them, it's just their pace of executing. And so if someone continuously talk about something over and over and don't execute on and don't deliver on what they've promised, then that's a issue for me. And I had to learn that not everyone works at the same pace that I work in. Do I have them in the wrong position? Then you have to turn it back on you. You know what? Really, this is my fault. This is really my fault. I put them in the position to have to be in fast pace when they are really not that type of person. Because one part is to take the personality assessment. That's to see the habits that you have. And then it's going to be a deeper level to that to understand, why do you have those habits? Why do I want to be fast paced? Why do I want to execute with excellence? Why do I want to be, why do I procrastinate when I'm feeling anxious? Why do I put things off when I'm nervous? So first is identifying the habits and identifying the people who are on your team. Like I said, this is not just about understanding yourself. This is understanding them too, understanding the people you're leading. Because leading is not just, okay, I'm going to walk into entrepreneurship. I'm going to walk into management. I'm going to make sure that these numbers are hit. I'm going to make sure that the business is growing. I'm going to make sure that the sales department is getting these numbers. I'm going to make sure the service department is taking care of this. And I'm going to make sure that the operations are going, I'm going to just go down the list. No. Empathy for your people. Understanding your people where they are. Okay. And how do they achieve their goals while also helping you achieve yours? D, decision-making skills. All skills are learnable. All skills are learnable. Some of us made some decisions that's not the best decisions for us in our team. But confident leaders are able to make decisions quickly, effectively, and they are very decisive. They're not afraid to take risks and stand up for what they believe in. I believe that who is this? Michelle, being confident when stepping out of your comfort zone. This is definitely going to help her in her role as an administrator in education. Exactly. I'm telling you, this, especially with the personality assessment, we definitely show administrators how to apply this to the students, because some students everyone is put into a bucket. And we're teaching everyone and we're relating to everyone the same way. And usually we're relating to people the way we relate to people. And we want people to understand us. No, I need to understand you. And then I need to talk to you in a way that you can receive it. Communication is a two-way street. And if you're talking over people's head, or if you are information driven, you just giving a D personality just all this information, they like, get to the bottom line. Get to the bottom line. What's the point and how this affects me? And then if you're talking with teachers and district staff, yes, exactly. Just okay with the S personality. Don't overwhelm me with a bunch of information. C personalities, they love the facts. They love having all the details. Other personalities, like, that's too much. What does this have to do with me? And what is my part in what you want to happen? What's my part in accomplishing this goal? We cannot keep treating people the same way. It's not healthy. It's not effective. It's not productive. Okay. So now you ask, okay, now we have scored. Now we have the habits and traits of an effective leader. Now what? Now what? My next question to you, is this helpful to y'all? Is this helpful? I know for Lantaj, this is, I hope I pronounced your name right. What area of your life do you have a desire to make more impact in? And then what are you doing now as a leader to carry out that impact? What are you doing now that's working? Tell me that. That's the question. What are you doing now that's working in your leadership? In your ability to confidently lead? Drop it in the chat. Because some things, I'm gonna get to what's not working in just a minute, but tell me what is working. What is working in your habits that's getting you closer to those attributes of being a confident leader? Becoming more self-aware of my strengths and weaknesses. Yes. What are you doing to become more self-aware? I know y'all have some more stuff. That's good. That's good. Becoming more self-aware. That's where it starts, because we have to identify the habit, skills, and network. The habit, skills, and network are so important. Meeting people where they are, not trying to make them be something / somewhere they aren't. Yes. Yes. I think we can sometimes get impatient with that, and we can sometimes be like, why aren't you here already? Attending classes like this and growth mindset and flexibility, it all starts in the mind. It all starts in the mind. Where do I believe I am? And then it's not just about getting there, it's who do I have to become to stay there? Who do I have to become? Because we live in a society right now. I don't know if y'all have heard of fast fashion and how it's taken over the world. Fast fashion, yes. Where clothes used to be made with quality. Even some of the clothes you find in the thrift store, these are still that were made back in the day, like 60s and stuff. These blazers still crisp and good, and you can wear them and you can not get cold. Like, this was quality. But now we live in a fast fashion where we are wearing it one day or 2 days, get 1 or 2 uses out of it, and we throw it away. And then that's the society we're living in. We have fast businesses. We have fast success. We want fast success where we get to a certain level and we feel like, oh, I made it. And then we start back over. Success is a daily action. It's a slow process. Think about God. He is a harvester. Like, he does not do things on our time. And think about agriculture. It takes seasons for things to be grown. You have to prune things. You have to make sure the weeds are out of the stuff. You gotta make sure that no animals are coming in and eating the fruit and vegetables. Yeah, like the seeds. He comes from a seed form and grows things. But we want the fruit and vegetables already made and come in and take over what's already been developed. Like, no. It's going to be from a seed form. We're going to grow this thing. We're going to grow success. I'm going to grow you into who I need you to be so that you can be a leader that's going to lead more people, because every one of us has an assignment. Every one of us has a lane. Every one of us has a business. Everyone has a dominion that we're called to take over, to take care of, whether that's our family, our children, our businesses, our teams, young girls that we are leading, people that we work with, people that we just meet in passing. It's crazy that you don't know who's watching you until they come up and tell you, and they like, I like the way you did that. If y'all know, well, y'all probably don't know. My oldest son was baptized this past Sunday, right? And y'all know, as mamas, that's one of the biggest accomplishments that you can have. And so, I'm holding it together because I'm a G, but I've shed a few tears because crying is good. So as they announced it, as he went under the water and he came up in the newness of life. And I get up and I'm praising, So 2 hours go by. At the end of service, we done walked across the street, joined the main service, and then we come back and we're going to our car. And a woman who was in the service, who was in the baptism, seeing one of her nieces get baptized, came up to me and was like, I just want to tell you that you are a true, like, your representation as a mother is inspiring. And the way you praised God after your son was baptized, it meant so much to me. And your family is going to be blessed. Like, you don't know who's watching you. I ain't seen this. I didn't even see this lady. And me walking out, just what I do, you never know who's watching. So you have to be confident and do what you are called to do, because somebody is watching all the time. Your walk is important to someone. Your position is important to someone. And if you don't know that, let me tell you, it is. And if you don't find confidence in that, if you don't have confidence in that I'm here for a purpose, that I'm here for a reason, everything I'm doing for a reason, it makes it hard for you to even find that confidence, because then it's hard for you to have peace. It's hard for you to have hope. It's hard for you to get up. It's some people just watching, letting life pass them by because life is about them. And that's not, God wants us to live in abundance. I'm finna stop ranting in a minute, but God wants us to live in abundance so we can have overflow. We are not meant to be just surviving. We're supposed to be thriving. And when we thrive, we have something to give out. But if you cannot pour from an empty cup, and God wants us He want to fill us. But if we don't empty ourselves of us, then we'll just let life go. That's all right. Whatever happened to the world, whatever's going on in the world, that's true. That ain't got nothing to do with me. It has everything to do with every one of us. And some of us aren't stepping up in our positions confidently, knowing I'm gonna walk in this room and this is where I'm supposed to be. Somebody in here is supposed to encounter me. Somebody in here is supposed to meet me. And what are your successes? I mean, what are your strengths that you can give to someone else? What are your weaknesses, or I call them limitations, that's keeping you from living out fully who you were meant to be? And that's why I highly promote DISC assessment. And I'm gonna tell y'all how to take you one at the end, but just I urge you, if you don't do nothing else, take the DISC assessment and identify your strengths and your limitations, because you can learn to be a decision maker. You can learn to be a more detailed person. Some of us aren't detailed. I do not like the details. I do not like to get into the weeds. I don't like to get into the structuring, all those things. But to be a leader, you have to do that. You might not like it, but it's something that has to be done. And even if you're not doing it, who are you managing to make sure it gets done? Okay. So is that helpful for somebody? That's helpful for somebody? Good. All right. Now, what's not helping you? What's not helping you be a confident leader? Drop that in the chat. That's the next question. What's not helping you be the confident leader? Some of us, that's doubt, comparison, fear. Let me see. I've done several, and last one was at a class earlier this year with you and your husband. It was an eye opener for where I am currently at. It's good. That's good. Overthinking. Yeah. Agree with overthinking. Yes. Oh my goodness. I can't say enough, because in distractions. Oh yeah. Distractions, overthinking. Overthinking is a part of fear, because then we try to get over prepared for something instead of taking action. And overthinking of, okay, what could happen? Let me prepare for this. And then you realize when you get there that a lot of the stuff that you were overthinking about or over preparing on, you didn't even use them. You didn't even use the stuff. Like, it didn't even matter. But if you would have taken action and, okay, this is what I'm meant to be doing. Sometimes for me, what I had to do, a habit that I had to really buckle down on, was unfollowing people or unfollowing pages on social media that was not feeding who I wanted to become. So I went from following about 4,500 people down to, what am I at now? About 700. And so anything I scroll past is something that is getting me closer to who I want to become. Anything that has to do with fighting, or anything that has to do with divorce, or anything that has to do with complaining about what's going on. Anyone who's doing any of those things, I unfollowed. Not saying that even if I knew them personally, I could love you, but I can't consume what you're giving out, because it's not helping me go forward in who I want to be. So some of us need to unfollow some people. Some of us need to change what we're listening to, the music we're listening to. We don't understand how effective that is, and how those seeds of doubt, those seeds of unsureness, or just the seeds of, seeds of fear that are being planted, and then they're being watered. And we need to stop watering some of those seeds that have been planted. We need to dry them out and get and unearth those things, dig them out. We have to dig some of this stuff out. All right. So what I want you to do is understand the importance of your network. And that's a lot of y'all may, if y'all have experienced how Lantaj, she mentioned that about me and my husband, we did a coaching. Y'all are used to seeing me with my husband coaching on this, coaching on these things. But I recently stepped out and started Married to Success. And I'm on my own out here doing my thing because, like I said, all of us have our own lanes that we have to fulfill. We all have our own gifts. And for a long time, I depended and relied on my husband's strengths and let my strengths, take the back burner, and like lived in his shadow for a little while. And although, y'all know how much I love my husband, but I had to learn to love me and be confident in what I'm supposed to be doing. No, it's not for married women only, it's for women only, women who are born women. Okay. So it's not just for married women. Married to Success means I'm married to the success of my life. I'm married to the success of my children, the upbringing of my children. I'm married to the success of my business. I'm fully committed to anything that I'm attached to growing. I'm fully committed to the success of anything that I'm attached to. And that's where that comes from. And then it's part of an organization that I created, the Shed Women's Group. Strong, high achieving, empowered, and dedicated women. And this is for women who are high achievers. Like I said, I'm fast paced and I'm an executor. So we need a group of women who are executors, who are walking in this world, executing on every area of their life. You can't we have to set goals. Every 90 days, we set a goal and then we revisit it. This is high accountability because a lot of us, we are walking in this world and we don't have anyone to hold us accountable. And we and we slack off on ourselves. Let's be honest. How many of us are slacking off because nobody's saying, hey, you said you're going to do this. You said that this is what you wanted. And then you need to be in the right rooms with people who are going where you want to go or have experience in high levels of achievement, or can place you in rooms of other high achievement. Because you want people to talk about you behind your back, but I always talk about you in a good way behind your back. People who are putting your name in rooms that you wouldn't have access to yourself. And that's why I wanted to start the Shed. Well, I started the Shed back in 2017. And it's refocusing and rebuilding herself. And it started off with me and a couple friends meeting in what we call the corner, just discussing life and getting through the hills and valleys of life. And it was focused on physical, spiritual, and emotional well-being, and how all of those tie together to make you whole. Because you can have all the drive in the world, but if you don't have hope, if you don't have peace, and if you don't have that confidence, then it doesn't matter. You can find some of the most successful people in this world who are unhappy with where they are because they don't have the peace to enjoy it. They don't have the hope to enjoy it. And that's why the Shed was created. And I'm highly dedicated to women's success in leadership. Like I said in the beginning, a lot of places are showing you how to be a salesperson, how to market, how to develop operations in your business, but no one is showing you how to lead. And it starts with your being, your habits, understanding who you are, to be self-assured in who you are, your strengths. Because some of us are strong in getting results, but we lack the ability to connect with other people. Some of us are strong in creating structure in businesses, but we lack the ability to motivate and inspire other people. We have to be mindful of these things, because it's about being whole to be able to pour into someone else. But if you aren't whole, like I said, it's hard to pour from an empty cup. Okay. All right. Was that good? I have a few more things to talk about. I ain't at my hour yet, so y'all still have some time with me. Okay, so what I want to talk about really quick, real quick, how to build confidence as a leader. Okay, first I need you to set realistic goals. Don't set these lofty goals that you know, hey man, that's far out. It's millimeter incremental shifts. Set realistic goals. Take risk and learn from your mistakes. Don't just take the risk. You have to review what has been done so that you can review what has worked and what hasn't, because we don't have to start from scratch all the time. We can start from where we are and just throw out what didn't work. In the past, things that certain emails that I sent, I won't be sending them anymore. Certain types of webinars that I did, I won't be doing those anymore. Certain types of conferences that I did, I wouldn't do those anymore. If you've been to one of our conferences, you know you've been to our conference. So there's certain things that we did that I just wouldn't do again. But I learned from those mistakes. I learned how to do something different. Don't just throw the whole thing away. The whole thing was, if you look at it overall, the whole thing was good. But just certain things that need to be thrown away and certain things I need to learn from. Okay, be positive and optimistic. I always have a positive attitude. Get this book in your life. Like I said, get that book in your life, Audible, whatever you need to do. The way you think, as a man thinketh, so is he. That's all I'm gonna say. And surround yourself with positive people. The people you spend time with can have a big impact on your confidence. Make sure you have people around you who are pouring life back into you. People who are saying, oh, that's a big dream. That's a big goal. That's gonna be hard for you. I gotta limit my time with you. I love you, but I'm gonna love you from over here. You have to limit your time with them. Things that are pouring negative thoughts. If you notice, if you do a survey of things that you're watching, things that you're listening to, and if you go back and you evaluate the way you're talking to your spouse, the way you're talking to your kids, how short-tempered you might be with them, then it might be something that's being planted that you're not even thinking about. I know certain shows I was watching when I first got married, I had to turn them off. I had to stop watching them because every time I watched them, I would get into it with my husband. So some things, they were on me, but a lot of things that I'm watching, like I'm influenced by certain things. Like something I wasn't even thinking about that. And where did that come from? So surround yourself with positive people. Make sure you are doing a survey of what you're listening to, what seeds are being planted. Make sure your network is strong. Networks have to be strong. Life is not meant to be done alone. Marriage is not meant to be done alone. Parenting is not meant to be done alone. I remember when I was a new mom, I know some of y'all are moms on here, so y'all know. And I was a stay-at-home mom. I was a stay-at-home mom for 4 years. So I have a certain heart for stay-at-home moms. And I was newly married. I was learning how to be married, learning how to be a parent, I was learning all these things. And I remember going to a small group and I just went in there and just bust out crying. This woman was like, you know what? I know where you are. She was a business owner too. So she know her husband was a hard worker. He was working hard. He was away a lot and things like that. But I know where you are. Let me pull your wings up. Let me hold your wings up for you. And some of us don't have people holding those wings up for us, helping us to carry the weight. Like, I know this is where you are. And I know where you are and I can feel where you are and I have empathy for where you are, but this is how I came through it. Some of us need people walking with us through the valley. And when I get to that mode of being heavy or my heart is heavy, I isolate myself. I cut off people. I ghost people, as my husband would call it. I go into isolation, but that is not a good place to be because you need somebody to pull you out of that isolated place, because that's where we get the most attacks. It's when we're off alone and we don't know that you need somebody. You don't know you're drowning in a riptide in the ocean. If you've been in the ocean, you don't know, hey, all right, I'm having fun out here. I'm out here swimming. This is a fun time. But that riptide is slowly sucking you back in. And you don't even know that you are being slowly sucked into the riptide until you realize, hey, I'm swimming to the, I'm swimming, but I can't come out. I'm not seeing a way out. Till somebody come, and you're gonna need a lifeguard to come and pull you up out of there on a jet ski, on a boat, whatever they have to come and get you out of. You need someone to come pull you out. You don't notice that you're drowning until somebody is looking at you and say, are you okay? And you realize you might not be. And so it's hard to be on 100 when your energy and your confidence level is on a 10. Okay. So I know that this was helpful for someone. I hope that we know to eliminate distractions. I hope we know that overthinking is not a habit that is moving us forward. It's a habit that's hindering our success. And sometimes we're looking for opinions on something that God is looking for obedience on. I don't need your opinion. I need your obedience, is what God is saying. I don't need you to overthink it. This is what I said. Let's take action on it. Okay. So what I want to do next is invite you guys to, like I said, take a personality assessment. And then I'm also bundling that with a 3-week course. We're going to do a deep dive into each personality type, where on day 1, we're going to understand the D and the I personality. Week 2, we're going to understand the S and the C personality. And then on week 3, we're going to talk about how to communicate with each personality style, how to resolve conflict, and how to set goals based on our personality style. This is going to start on the 2nd week of August. When is this? August the 14th. This is going to be the DISC Advantage. It's a boot camp that I'll be hosting, a 3-week boot camp. And I would love for you guys to join me. If you know about the DISC assessment, it's one thing to know about it. And I know some of us, if we've taken it, we kind of lean towards one personality over the other. But if you honestly answer these questions, and if you honestly take hold of the information that it is going to display to you, then you can see a big change in your world. You can see, okay, why am I having this kind of conflict with my husband? Or why am I having this kind of conflict with my teammates? Why can't I get them on the same page? Why every time this person, they make a commitment, but they don't follow through? Like, we need to understand who we're talking to. And that's what this 3-week boot camp is going to do. It's going to help break down all of the personality types. And you are going to see the world in full color. That's what I say. It's full color. Right now, some of us are seeing in black and white, and we think everything is the same. But when you understand the different personality types, understand the behaviors of different people, not just how you are, but understand other people, then you will be a way more effective leader. Okay. So I'm going to drop that link here in the chat, the DISC Advantage. I should have had this ready. Don't talk about me on this. I should have had it ready. That shows that I really wasn't thinking about doing this, but here we go. All right, there we go. Boom. So take the DISC Advantage program. It's originally $497, but with this promo code, Lioness, y'all know how I feel about lions. You'll see the picture when you pull it up. Lioness, you'll get 400. 400 off, and that boot camp is only 97. So it's going to be 3 weeks with me. We're doing deep dive into the different personality types. We are doing a deep dive into your personality type. You're going to get a 17-page breakdown of your type. After you take this test, it's only about 10 minutes. Some of you, if you've met with me, you took the free version of this test, but if you take this one, you're going to get a full 17-page breakdown of your style, your behavior style. You're going to get a full breakdown of your limitations. You're going to get a full breakdown of how to communicate with other types. And then, like I said, we're going to walk through this thing. We're going to walk through it, because if you can't, the group, the boot camp is group, but you're going to take your own individual assessment. So you're going to take your assessment, you're going to have your results in your hand. Then the 3 weeks we're going to do as a group, and we're going to do as a group collectively, and we're going to do a breakdown of each style, not just of your style, but each style, so that you can see how other people show up in the world. Okay. Use promo code Lioness. You'll get $400 off, and it'll be $97. 3 weeks with me, deep diving. We're going deep into what this profile is. This is going to help you in career planning. It's going to help you in your administration. It's going to help you in your leadership. It's going to help you in the way you relate and build relationships with people. You're going to understand people more. You're going to understand yourself. You can be more confident when you understand who you are. I know these are my strengths. I know I have a gift of speaking and motivating and inspiring people. Yeah, I can have those gifts, but then I also have limitations of being a people pleaser. I have a limitation of putting people more important than myself. That's why God tells us, hey, the second greatest commandment, love your neighbors as you love yourself. As you love it. He knows how much we love ourselves. We are made in his image. So he already knows, hey, I love myself so much that I'm going to make humans in my image so I can see a human form of myself. That's what he put in us too. He knows we love ourselves a lot. So if we love ourselves that much, we can love our neighbors just as much. So you have to start with loving yourself. You have to start with knowing yourself and identifying what attributes of God that he has, that he's given me. Because all of us have the same attributes, but some of us have more in certain areas than others. And when you learn about the DISC, you'll see all of these personality types are personality styles of God. You already know the C style shows up in the way he created the world. He was very systematic in that. He was relational with people when he sent his son, Jesus, so that he can have empathy for people. He shows up in steady. He's the same. He's constant. He shows up in influence because he shows up in dominance because he makes a decision and that's what he carries out. And when you learn these styles, you'll be like, I understand. I get it. So like I said, click that link, go ahead and sign up. I hope to have you guys there on August the 14th. Show up ready to learn more about yourself, learn more about others. And let's go lead with confidence, y'all. Let's lead with knowing who we are. We're going to walk into every room knowing that we are supposed to be there. Everything that we do, we know we're supposed to be there. So I'll see y'all August 14th. If you're in, let me see a hand or say I'm in. I'm ready to go to the next level. Let me see you say that. And then we're going to end this thing. There we go. Boom. Thank you. All right. Y'all have a good one. See y'all August 14th. Bye-bye.